All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a critical vulnerability in open societies. We're talking about a strategy where the very rules designed to keep things fair are, well, turned into weapons in a global economic war. So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative claim from our source. The idea here is that a state-controlled autocratic system actually has a built-in advantage when it comes to long-term strategic competition. But how? How does that actually work?
Well, according to this analysis, the huge difference really boils down to strategy. You see, Western democracies, on the one hand, tend to focus on the slow, really expensive process of pure invention, research and development. China's model, on the other hand, is said to have perfected copy and development. That means rapidly taking an existing innovation, improving it, and then just executing its production on a massive state-backed scale.
And look, this isn't just theory, right? It's a proven playbook. Take electric vehicles. The original spark of innovation came mostly from Europe, but China went after the whole battery supply chain, locking down lithium, cobalt, and now they dominate manufacturing. It's the exact same story with drones. Western tech, but Chinese execution made them cheaper, better, and, let's face it, everywhere.
So here's the really crucial takeaway. That old idea that a copy can never be better than the original, in today's global economy, that is a seriously dangerous myth. It's not just about making a copy. It's about making that copy better, cheaper, and getting it into everyone's hands before the original ever could. That's how you win the market.
Okay, so how does this whole playbook fit into what might be the single most important tech race of our time? We're talking about the competition for dominance in artificial intelligence. Because this isn't just about code and algorithms, it's a fight for the actual physical hardware that makes all of it run.
You see, at the end of the day, the war for AI, it's really a war for hardware. The whole field just burns through incredible amounts of computing power. And all that power comes from one tiny place, highly advanced semiconductor chips. Whoever controls the chips, well, they pretty much control the future of AI.
And you better believe the United States understands this. One of its companies, NVIDIA, makes the best AI chips on the planet, giving the US a pretty big lead. So to protect that lead, the US has essentially built a technological fortress using really strict export controls to keep these critical chips out of China's hands.
So this leads to a fascinating strategic question, doesn't it? If the most direct path, just buying the technology, is completely blocked, is the game over? Or are there other, sneakier ways to get what you need?
And this is where things get really interesting. This is where we see how a system's own rules, its very openness, can be turned against it. The source material walks us through a strategy it calls a legal hack, and the story of a small US startup called Fastwave illustrates it perfectly.
So Fastwave was working on this amazing medical laser to treat heart disease. Sounds great, right? A totally noble cause. But here's the catch. Hidden inside its design was a critical dual-use capability. The same physics that made the laser work for medicine also happened to produce something called extreme ultraviolet radiation, EUV. And that is the exact secret sauce needed to manufacture the world's most advanced AI chips.
So, let's lay out the key players on the chessboard here. You've got Fastwave, the little startup with the big idea. You've got Grand Pharmaceutical, the Chinese investor. Then there's Cepheus, that's the US government watchdog whose whole job is to stop foreign investments that could be a threat to national security. And finally, you have Checkmate, a very powerful American lobbying firm.
The source breaks down this hack into a 5-step playbook. And honestly, it reads less like a business investment and more like a hostile corporate raid, all designed to get at that precious intellectual property. It's patient, it's methodical, and it's brilliant.
It all started with step 1, invest. Grand Pharmaceutical came in with a lifeline when other investors were shy, providing the cash Fastwave needed. In return, they got a huge 40% chunk of the company. But it wasn't just about owning a piece of the pie.
See, with that 40%, they also got board seats. And this is the key part, veto power over any new money coming in. And then, according to the allegations, they played their next card. Step 3, starve. They allegedly just turned off the money faucet, blocking Fastwave from raising any more capital to keep the lights on.
Okay, and this is the real pivot point in the story. This is where it goes from just a nasty business dispute to a brilliant and kind of scary exploitation of the American political and legal system itself. It's about how a feature designed for fairness can become a bug.
So Fastwave sees what's happening, right? They sense a hostile takeover, and they do exactly what you'd think they should do. They file a complaint with the regulator, Cepheus. Their plea lands in a pile with thousands of others. Meanwhile, Grand Pharmaceutical, they play a completely different game. They hire a top-tier lobbying firm that allegedly gets them meetings directly with high-level officials, completely sidestepping the normal process.
Now, for anyone listening outside the US, it's really important to get this next part. Lobbying. It's a totally legal and frankly huge industry in the United States. It's designed to give companies and groups a direct line to policymakers. It's a feature of the system, not a bug, but it's a feature that, as you can see, can be exploited.
And this is the detail that makes you sit up and pay attention. The detail that turns this from a business story into a potential national security issue. The analysis suggests the money spent on just the lobbying might have been more than the original investment in Fastwave itself, which makes you ask, was this really about making a profit? Or was this a strategic operation where money was no object?
So we have to zoom out here. From an international security perspective, one case, that's just a story. It's an anecdote. But a pattern, something that's repeatable across different sectors, well, that's a strategy.
And you know, that's what's really unsettling about all of this. The source argues the Fastwave story is scary, not because it's so unique, but because it's one of the few that actually got discovered. The real question is, how many other legal hacks are flying completely under the radar right now?
And you see this same playbook, finding the cracks in the system, it's not just about tech. Look at the information space, for example. The analysis points out that as big media companies pull out of local news in the US, they leave behind this vacuum. And reportedly, Chinese-owned AI-driven apps are quietly moving in to fill that void, becoming the main news source in some American towns.
And that really leaves us with a final, pretty unsettling thought, doesn't it? If a legal hack this sophisticated can apparently work inside the United States with all its regulations and all its watchdog agencies, just imagine what vulnerabilities might exist in other countries that have far fewer defenses. It suggests this quiet economic war is being fought on a scale we're only just beginning to understand.